Yes, everybody. Hello, hello, hello.
Okay. Look at there.
Okay, do y'all see us?
Oh, patiently bunched. Wow. We'll wait. We'll wait.
Well, we started. Can y'all see us? I would just tell us.
Well, first of all, we just need to know, are we back up? Because, hey.
Then we'll tell you why.
This was just.
Please say y'all see us.
Oh, man. Please tell us we're in the same room.
Are we where we need to be? Everybody sees us. Everybody hears us. Or do we need to find us?
We need to find where we at.
Because we totally lost right now. They are like, yes.
Yes. Hello, yes. Everybody.
One person said yes. Does everybody else see us?
Susan sees us. Susan always sees us.
There you go.
There you go. I see you. Okay. Yeah, okay.
With delayed reaction.
We had everything up, going good, and the battery went out on the computer.
We were 3 minutes early. I said, just go ahead and start. It always takes us 3 minutes to set up. So he has everything ready. He hits every button. It's just fixing to bring us live. It's 1 minute till, and the computer died.
And the computer just went dead.
I have no battery, so I have to keep it plugged in. And I accidentally bumped it and knocked the cord loose, I guess. I don't know.
Oh.
It's one of them Lippy moments.
It's one of them.
Just blame Lippy.
Everything's
a Lippy moment.
I'm telling you, it was. Everything was going too good.
Yes. That's why we started 3 minutes
That's part
early.
of getting old, though.
And then we were 5 minutes late.
I know. But that's part of getting old.
It is part. And forgetting.
You forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they all see and hear us and we're good.
All's good.
All right. Now we got to figure out what we're going to talk about.
That's part of getting old. You forget when you get sidetracked. When your computer goes dead, you go off on a tangent and you forget. Oh, Chip. Thank you, Chip.
Thank you, Chip. Yeah, part of getting old is forgetfulness. Oh, my goodness, does it hit here. Danny used to could remember anything. He has a photographic memory.
Yeah.
One day I lost my phone right after I got here. I think it was my phone.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not sure where it's at. And he says, okay, let's backtrack. And he goes and walks through his mind every place we've been all morning. Every place. And he said, you had it here. I remember seeing it in your hand. Then he goes, we were over here and you had it there. And then we went over here and I don't remember seeing it in your hand there. And so we went back to the last two places and there it was. I mean, he could remember what I looked like in the moment. I don't know.
Moment, yeah.
Now he can't even remember that he just picked something up and he looks at it.
It's terrible.
And goes,
it's terrible. What? I mean, I literally had a photographic memory. If I saw it, I could remember it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I don't know if it's just a simple fact that I don't stay as busy as I always do, or what. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just not as sharp as I used to be.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk a little bit about aging and gardening, because that seems to be on everybody's mind that's anywhere from 50 on up. I know when you're under 50, you don't really think much about it.
No, when you're under 50. When I was 40 years old, I could do anything I could do when I was 20.
Yeah.
I mean, I physically was as fit as I could be. I could do anything, literally anything I could do when I was 20.
Yeah. And so you don't really prepare for being old. You do everything in the moment. You work in the moment. You work from daylight till dark in the moment.
Yeah.
You don't really start thinking about working in the garden as an older person till you are that older person working in the garden and going, why didn't I do this, this, and this when I was younger to prepare for now? Because then you don't feel like doing it. And so we thought we'd talk about some of those.
We could blame it on the Sahara dust.
Everything.
Everything. It's clouding up our vision. It's clouding up our mind,
we just
our
got
lungs.
really irritated before we started anyway. Our state has decided to take away our state flag.
Without letting the people vote on it.
Yeah.
The governor and the lieutenant governor overrode the senators and the representatives.
Well, the senators and representatives voted for it to be done that way too. All but 14.
All but 14 of them voted for it to be done, for the powers to be. In other words, democracy did not work. It was literally socialism or communism because the powers to be did not let the people choose.
Yeah. They decided that
it was their right.
We need a new flag, and they're going to make us one.
And we don't even get a chance to choose what flag. They're going to choose a flag, and then we get to vote on what they choose.
Yeah, we get to vote yes or no.
Yeah.
One flag, yes or no. Not 4 or 5 different types of flags. Not a say in anything. Not a say whether we want to keep the one we have. It's just, so we got really frustrated to start with because I've been kind of following that all day on Facebook. And we have Senator McDaniels who stood up and really fought for the people. Then we had our governor and lieutenant governor that kind of just pushed the other way and said, no, we don't need to vote on it. It was kind of aggravating.
It was sad. I mean, I'm not saying we have the greatest flag in the world, and maybe there is some issues with it, but at least give the people a choice or a chance. Don't just say, hey, because I'm in political power here, I can usurp authority over you because I have the power. You know, that's communism. That's socialism.
Well, we voted on this about, 12, 15 years ago? It's been a while. They wanted to take the flag down. And we voted, and it overwhelmingly, Mississippi voted to keep their flag. It was like 3-1 to keep the flag. Now it would be a very close race. You've got a lot of people back and forth on it, but at least we would have a say, you know, and see if we wanted. I mean, even in Mississippi, they took the rebel away from the university. They couldn't use the guy, Colonel Sanders.
I don't know. He looked like Colonel Sanders.
He was like Colonel Sanders guy.
Who knows? But
hey,
anyway.
Thanks, 4 Kids in the Farm. You see my shirt? I got to show them. See my shirt?
This is the Sunflower Showdown shirt.
Yes. And I got 3 of them because I like the shirt. Because 4 Kids in the Farm is in this Sunflower Showdown. Look at this.
Look at this. The Sunflower Showdown. Show me yours. The wind's blowing it there. There we go. Ta-da!
And then, this is the other color. Well, I think there's one more color. I forgot. I think black. But this is the other one.
Yeah.
And I got to show them my sunflowers. My 4 kids in the family's in here.
Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can find them in the pictures here right now.
Yo, my autumn beauties are about this big, so I'm not going to win the biggest.
We got to get off of the political kick here.
Yeah. We're talking about our Mississippi state flag. It is actually what most people consider a rebel flag, but it was made. There's a lot of history behind it, and it wasn't a rebel flag when it was made.
No.
And they try to turn it into that, and that's not what it was. The rebel part of the flag came after, years later, Mississippi already had the flag. It was just stupid.
Okay, back to the sunflowers.
Okay, we're on sunflowers.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Okay, this is me standing next to my Autumn Beauty sunflowers. Y'all, those are over, 8 foot tall?
Oh gosh, they're tall as a greenhouse. They're probably
a good 8 foot.
They're good. I'm guessing around 8 feet tall. Yeah.
Now the little flowers are small.
Yeah.
But they are tall. So 4 Kids in the Farm, show me yours. How tall are they? This is one of them, and I've got a little
Look at that
short video of the bee.
Look at that picture. Isn't that beautiful though?
There's nothing prettier than a sunflower.
That sunflower
right?
is literally.
And I had a picture, somebody sent me, a guy sent me, his was like 12 or 14 feet tall. And I wanted to show it tonight, and I forgot to. I forgot to get it. One more. This is the other one. See how dark this is? That one is almost just a burnt red color. It's gorgeous. So the Autumn Beauties is a variety pack of darker colors, but they're small. I may not win the contest, but mine got taller faster than anybody else's.
Yeah.
And Danny's got some in the greenhouse, so
I do, but I'm not really.
Watch out, 4 Kids in the Farm.
I'm not really taking care of them like I should, but I mean, I'm so busy with everything else.
Yeah, we had a guy send a picture, and I wanted to show it tonight, but we have been busting it, getting pictures right before. I mean, like what?
15 minutes ago, we was in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah. So I didn't get to bring the picture up, but a lot of people are sending me pictures of their sunflowers, and they're doing the big mammoths, and Danny's got the mammoths, but he was kind of 2 weeks behind, like 4 Kids in a Farm, Naked Hog, Hoss Tools, Adler Farms, and Cog Hill Farms. All of them are in the collaboration, and we're trying to see who's growing the biggest, tallest, and biggest sunflower head. And mine were the Autumn Beauties. I already had them planted the day they asked. I had planted them the day before, so I'm kind of little. There's Naked Hog. See? Did you see my sunflowers, Naked Hog?
What we were doing, actually what we were doing was, see these right here, guys? We were over, where am I at here? Here we go. That's what we were over doing. We were picking peaches off of our tree, and you know what this right here is? Where am I at here? Okay, I got to figure out how to get it in the screen. I got to bring it way back here.
Yeah.
Look how long. I'm gonna stick my arm up here. Look how long.
That's the one that weighed so much?
No, I didn't get the big one. This is. Look how long. This is Danny corn. Look how long that is. It's my arm is 18 inches from the tip of my fingers to my elbow. So this is about 14 inches long.
4 Kids in a Farm. You can get the shirt from Bonfire. It's bonfire.com sunflower-showdown-2020. It should be in some of our descriptions. I don't know for sure. Maybe Jim and I can pick it up for you.
But anyway, this is Danny corn. This is what it looks like. There's a big old ear here. That thing weighs probably, what, 2 pounds?
One of them was heavy. I'm talking heavy.
It weighs like 2 pounds.
We're going to do a video this week on it, and we'll shuck it and show you what it looks like and all that kind of stuff.
This isn't a peach tree that's just over in the field. We don't even take care of it. I mean, it just grows.
Let me go find pictures right quick. All right, this is the Danny corn that blew down. And you see he's reaching. 4 Kids in a Farm and Naked Hog. See how tall that corn is?
Yeah.
Y'all just know that sunflowers
you need to get some of that Danny corn when it comes available. I'm telling you, that stuff knows how to grow.
Yeah. So he's reaching, and it's really tall. Some of it's still down on the ground.
Yeah.
But what, maybe 3/4 of it stood back up?
Yeah, most all of it stood back up.
Yeah, most of it stood up. So we were really glad. That's what it's looking like. So you see one over now.
Every now and then, one's still laying on the ground. Yeah.
But it is tall. It's beautiful, and it is dark green.
It is dark green.
Very dark green. All right, Lippy's got, Gemini Homestead's got the T-shirts up if you needed a link. You want to talk about this right quick? We'll get back to old people.
Well, this is how, guys, this is one Cherokee tan pumpkin vine. This thing is 75 feet long. Our Native American friends, the culture of these pumpkins is that they planted them, they would cut down trees, and then they would plant the pumpkins and let them grow all up in the trees and be next to trash piles and stuff like that. So, I had a trash pile pushed up over by the cabin, and I told Wanda, I says, I'm going to plant a Cherokee tan over there just to see if that thing will do like it did with the Native Americans. Let me tell you something. That is awesome. No, the corn is not a hybrid. The corn is a corn that I created 20-something years ago. But these Cherokee tan...
That don't make it a hybrid when you put...
because it comes back true to itself. A hybrid won't.
I got you.
I had to do it a specific way.
Is it a white or yellow kernel?
It is a yellow kernel.
Okay.
It is a dent corn. I created the corn because all the corn that I was feeding my cows was so hard that it was hard on their teeth. So I created this corn. This corn is a soft corn. It is a dent corn. It makes fantastic flour. It makes fantastic grits, cornmeal, corn flour, whatever you want to make out of it. It is really, really good.
How tall is Danny?
I'm 6'3". I can reach an 8-foot ceiling.
and that was taller than him. So him reaching up, it was still about.
It was still no 2 to 3 feet above my head. It's probably 10, 11 feet tall.
Yeah, and it usually gets around 12 feet tall. That's usually how tall it gets. And it is not from Hoss Tools. It is our corn.
Yeah, that's our corn. I created this corn about 26 years now. I think it'd be about 26 years
and
ago.
our Cherokee Tans, he was just talking. Did you tell him how long it was now?
Yeah, I told him it's about 75 feet long, and this is what the little pumpkins look like on it. It's got several of them down the vine. They'll make up to 20 or 30 pumpkins per vine if you take care of them.
Yeah. Okay, so we ran out, and this is what happens when you have too many tomatoes.
Look at this, guys. I have too many tomatoes. We have put up cases of salsa. We have the whole kitchen floor is covered up in tomatoes. I have tomatoes hanging all over the vines. And I have tomatoes on the shelves in the greenhouse. I got tomatoes everywhere. And I'm tired of tomatoes.
We've got to do something with tomatoes. I gave my daughter some yesterday, and I think his daughter's coming tomorrow. If she does, she's getting some tomorrow. So we're going to do what we can. And I do apologize. It could be the dust and stuff that is causing us to bubble really bad. Hopefully this week we may get a hold of our provider and see if we can do something different. But
somebody wants to know, when will it be available for Etsy? Well, it'll probably be the fall if all the animals stay out of it and I'm able to actually get it harvested.
What is the
last date of the month y'all plant corn? Probably mid-June.
We just planted some popcorn, and it's up. And when we get the next greenhouse done, we have some specialty stuff going in there, and one of it is going to be a popcorn. All right, so let's talk about...
What Devo says, when should I dig up my potatoes, Danny? If you're talking about regular potatoes, just when the bush dies, dig them up. It's best if you can let them stay in the ground for like a week or so after the plant dies, because then they will store longer. But you have to be careful that they don't get, if it's wet, they'll rot. You know, you have to just be careful. Do we do sun-dried tomatoes? No, we dehydrate ours.
I usually just dehydrate some. Do you ferment tomatoes and peppers for salsa? We just make salsa. We've been making a lot of salsa.
We don't do any fermenting at all.
It's been, the year's been great as far as...
Oh, Sandra Cahill is from Big Level.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I know where you're at out there, girl.
Tomato juice. I did some tomato juice in ice cubes and froze it for smoothies, because sometimes I like to throw little tomatoes in a veggie smoothie. So, yes, we do that. I've canned, I don't know how much tomato juice. Our cellar's got gobs and gobs of tomato juice and all kinds of stuff. So we're kind of tomatoed out.
Prairie Girl says, Wanda, did my check and letter get to you?
I don't know.
Wanda's only mailed off about 200 cookbooks, so it's hard to remember.
Awesome. If it did not come when we went to town yesterday, day before yesterday, it'll be Monday before I get back to town. Y'all, I am overwhelmed at the cookbook orders. Thank y'all. I possibly am going to have to order again Monday. I ordered 300 cookbooks thinking that I would have to hold 100 or 150 of them for months before I sold them. And right now, as of today, I've sold 225, and I haven't even opened emails in 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And there's probably 25, 30 more. Plus, I know there's more at the post office. So I'm going to be out of cookbooks by the first of the week. So come Monday, I'm going to have to put in another order. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I did put up a...
do we do Back to Eden? No, Back to Eden will not work in the Deep South.
We tried it. We did it because everybody kept saying Back to Eden, Back to Eden.
Yeah, it won't work.
Yep. We have a whole playlist.
Got a whole playlist on it. Oh, there were so many questions that went by. I'm
it's
sorry,
still
guys.
Available, yes. My cookbook's going to be available. I will buy some more and have them up if I run out. It might take an extra week.
The question was asked, when will Danny corn be available? It will probably be fall, if nothing happens, before I can actually have some put up to sell.
Yeah. Now the tomatoes, we will be pulling them up, but we will be taking as many off as we can before we pull them up, because the vines are not blooming, I don't think, are they? They're about through blooming. It's just that we're waiting on them to get ready.
How do we keep our peach trees healthy? Well, some of the peaches have got worms in them, some of them don't. A tree that's well taken care of and mowed around and cleaned around and the fruit all picked up and got rid of, usually stays pretty healthy. We try to watch out for borers in the tree and stuff like that.
All right, Amy in Japan said thank you for the video on the grazon that she was having issues. Lily Dragonfly says, what is the healthy coffee that I use? It is called Teechino. Teechino. It's in the descriptions, or should be. Y'all don't blame me because I'm tired. I don't even remember half the time. But it is in our descriptions.
The question was asked, I don't remember who it was, says my tomatoes are split and what's the problem? Usually it comes from the moisture content is not consistent. Tomatoes go through a dry spell, and then when they get water, they start growing and they actually split the skin. Yes, wood ashes, Vicky, around trees definitely helps.
Okay, there's the to find the cookbook, deepsouthhomestead.etsy.com. Wait, this one.
Yep.
Okay, I was going to show you the cookbooks. I do have it up. I was going to bring one in, but Danny's in my way, so.
Nope, you got to click on the eye, baby. There you go.
That is what my cookbook looks like. And I do have a picture of both my cookbooks somewhere. Yes, y'all can order anytime you want. Let me find both cookbooks right here. So that's the first cookbook and the second cookbook. And all the recipes from the first cookbook are in the second cookbook. And they're gluten-free. They're made from the place. Somebody asked on something about the cookbook. It doesn't have a lot of go to the grocery store and get a box of this and a jar of that. And, most of the stuff in the recipe you can grow, except for maybe things that salt, pepper, some cheese if you don't have a cow, and things like that that you have to buy, flour, but the recipes are simple. They're very simple. Okay.
Danny, do you use 7 Dust? No, I do not use any chemicals on my farm whatsoever, organic or non-organic. I answered the question a while ago about about digging up potatoes. I dig them up when the plants die.
The Cherokee tan that isn't blooming yet.
It takes a long time. It took about 3 weeks on ours before ours actually started blooming at all. And then it was only male blooms.
Yeah.
It's only started putting on female blooms this past week.
Yeah, in the last few days.
Will
a lot of rain cause tomatoes to split open? Yes.
Yes. Yes, it will. How do I need to amend the soil in my 25-gallon buckets with beans? I want to replant another crop of beans. Just sometimes you have to take some of the soil out if you need to move more soil in. You just need to make sure you put the right minerals, magnesiums, calcium nitrates, phosphoruses, different things like that. You just got to make sure they're really nutrient dense in the buckets.
Okay, somebody was asking who I use to publish the cookbook. It is Morris Cookbooks, and they do a fabulous job. This is the second time. I've had no issues with them either time. And in fact, they had told me it would be 20 to 25 days before I got it. And when people pre-ordered, I told them 4 to 6 weeks to give me time to get everything done. They got them out in less than 2 weeks, and y'all are getting your cookbooks 3 weeks early.
Somebody asked, when do you dig sweet potatoes? Anytime after 125 days, you can dig them. If you want to leave them longer, you can leave them longer. If you want to go ahead and dig them, you can dig them.
And y'all, I'm eating pears.
We actually have pears on our trees now that we're already eating. We're already.
I think I have a picture. I don't remember.
Do we have a picture of it? Nope.
Maybe not.
We've got.
I thought I've got the fig.
We got the fig. Let's just do the fig right this minute.
I forgot the picture of the pears.
This is our fig trees. They are beginning to, produce figs. We're picking them now. We're already saving them up so we can have our first canning.
What pulls chemicals out of the soil?
Sunflowers pull chemicals out of the soil.
And corn.
Corn, any monocot will pull chemicals out of the soil, but sunflower is what they use to clean up behind nuclear disasters and stuff like that, so it's better. Question was asked, how do I keep Peachtree borers out? I usually just dig around the tree and look to see if I see any jelly. If I don't worry about it, but if it starts to see jelly, then I work around till I find the worm. This is my pecans. My pecan tree is finally starting to bear pecans. It's the first time ever in about 15 to 20 years. We're excited because the tree is literally loaded with little pecans right now.
And he is happy that he's growing his own pecans.
Do I think winter will come early this year? I certainly hope so.
Yeah, it was pretty hot.
The grand solar minimum is really a good thing for the Deep South. It really is. Now, up north, I know it's not good for y'all, but for us in the South, it's been pretty good. How do you apply your Dr. Earth's dry fertilizer? I just, about 4 to 6 inches from the plant, I just dig a hole, and I take a scoop and put it down in there and cover it up. That's all I do. I don't water it in or nothing like that. I just dig it and put it in there.
So let's talk a little bit about the old people. What are some ways? One of them is we're planning for our old age.
We're planning for our old age right now. That's why we're doing the greenhouses.
That is one of our things, is the greenhouses, because we don't want to use the fields. And people asked how, this has been a big question. As much as we can, how will we be able to grow enough in greenhouses and not use the fields? Well, we're planning on rotating things around and redoing, right? The fields will be used for potatoes, corn, sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, field potatoes, like red potatoes and stuff, and then corn. We'll be mainly using the fields. So we can take a tractor and we can take care of the fields that way. We really don't have to get out there and do any kind of intensive labor. The greenhouses will be strictly for our intense growing. The 3 cucumber plants this year proved to us that 3 plants can produce more cucumbers than we'll ever need.
Yes.
So if you're growing in these high tunnels, food production is a lot higher than it is in the field, because we had another 7 plants in the field that we got maybe 15 cucumbers off of them.
Yeah.
But this is our first greenhouse that we built, and it's doing pretty good. We haven't had any problems.
Now we had the one problem.
Well, with the graze on, but that wasn't. That's not a greenhouse problem.
No, it's not a greenhouse problem.
Now, guys, a lot of people have asked us, where did you get this greenhouse or high tunnel kit from? We got this from Grower Solutions, but what y'all have to understand, the only thing that comes from Grower Solution is the metal frame. I built everything else. There is my custom design. I've built greenhouses and high tunnels for years for people, and this is a custom design that I come up with for us here, and it seems to be working really well.
The Veggie Boys made a good comment here on time-release fertilizer. Now, we are doing that.
We use time-release fertilizer, yeah.
And as older people, you don't want to be out there having to fertilize all the time. So the time release gives you that extra help, I guess. That is one good reason to use time release fertilizer.
Now, guys, this is our second greenhouse that we're working on. Today I spent the day putting dirt in the middle of it because we're having to build it up almost 1.5 feet with dirt in there. And Ms. Wanda's been painting on the boards on the outside. We're getting it ready to start putting the wiggle wire track on so that we can start putting the plastic on it. Now it's just going to take us a little time because we can only work maybe an hour or two in the mornings because we have so much other stuff that we have to do. We're not really pushing a time clock on this one.
Yeah, and somebody asked, did I make jelly from pears? Yes, I have made jelly from pears, and it is delicious. I've made pear syrup, pear sauce, pear halves. We make all kinds of pear stuff. And Grower Solution, we buy the kits. Now, Grower Solution has people in their area. They do put greenhouses in their area. But like Gail Watkins said, she's not there. She lives somewhere outside the area. So she's having trouble finding somebody to put hers up. She's 70 years old. She can't do it herself.
Right.
So this is where we need people in a community to be helping each other and doing this type stuff, because there is nobody. I mean, if Danny and I had not been able to do it ourselves.
If I had been in the construction business, this would be kind of tough on me. But you see, y'all see the metal frame part of this? Any wood did not come from Grower Solutions.
No.
Only the metal came from Grower Solutions. All the wood is a design that I come up with. Now, you have to realize these are built on a hillside, so they had to be built a little bit different in order to level everything in. But both greenhouses are totally identical in size and design on the outside. Now, the inside will be designed a little different. Beth asked the question, why does high tunnels produce so much more than in the field? It's because you can control the environment. You can control the insects. You can control the amount of fertilizer. You can control the water. You can control the intensity of the sun. You can control the wind, the humidity. All these things can be controlled in the greenhouse or high tunnel, and it makes it where a plant can grow at its optimum potential.
And when you have healthy plants, then you have plants that produce well.
Yeah.
If your plant looks a little spindly, you may get something off that plant. It's not that you won't get tomatoes off a spindly tomato.
Right.
But you won't get but 4 or 5, and they may be odd formed, or you may have the biggest, prettiest tomato and you get 1. But if that plant is healthy and it's getting everything it needs and it grows in its beautiful color, the leaves are coming on like it's supposed to, chances are you're going to get a lot of tomatoes, probably as many as you need off that plant.
Hey, there's Miss Sheila.
Hey, Sheila, hadn't seen you in a while.
Haven't seen you in a while, girl. We're actively working on our greenhouses, high tunnels. We're trying to get them done, girl.
Yeah. So.
Plus, what's that? Saltine Cracker is right. The soil in the greenhouse is amended so well, and it's so nutrient dense, it's so rich, that it tends to be softer, and it holds water retention better. The roots can spread through it a lot better. I mean, it just does a lot of better.
Yeah. So not everybody can afford a greenhouse. Now, they have different sizes, and you can get small ones online. Grower Solution has...
They have lots of different size greenhouses, and they're setting up machines to actually make a lot of different sizes.
Yes, we talked to them this week, and they're going to have different options from what they have now. They're working fast to do that. But let me show you my GreenStalk.
Let me ask you, it says, Wanda, do you sanitize your jars before pressure canning something?
Yes. I put them in a hot... I keep boiling water. I don't care what I'm doing. I have hot boiling water on the back of my stove. I lay the jar in there and I roll it around, let it get hot before I put my stuff in there. So you're not putting hot stuff into a cold jar, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, guys, these grow houses, high tunnels, whatever you want to call them, greenhouses, hoop houses, these are going to be the way of the future with the Grand Solar Minimum. You're going to have it in order to be able to grow anything of any quantity.
Yeah.
And quality.
And so lots of people ask, what can I do as I get older? I have a GreenStalk. It is a 5-tier vertical planter. It grows up and down. It has 5 pockets on each tier, so you've got 25 little pockets to grow in. These are beans. Over the past 2 years, I have shown how to grow beans, tomatoes, Peppers. The pepper's been doing really great. I've had, oh, I went the wrong way. Where did it go? Okay, that's all I had on here. I've grown tomatoes, peppers, Malabar spinach, onions, radishes, lettuce. I've had some of the prettiest lettuce you've ever seen. Thank you, Chip. And so you can answer his question.
If you'll give me a
Okay.
chance, you just keep
Well,
talking.
let me finish my GreenStalk.
All right.
The GreenStalk, there's a link in the description. You can put it on your patio, you can put it on your porch, and you don't have to go out into a garden. That was one way that you can grow anywhere, is in a GreenStalk.
Chip asked the question, how often do we have to replace the plastic on our greenhouse? The greenhouses come with a 4-year plastic on them, but everybody I talk to who's had these greenhouses and they take care of them with the shade cloth in the summer and stuff like that are getting around 6 years out of their plastic before, and then the plastic's not really tore up or anything, they just replace it. And that's probably what we will do. Sheila asked, Danny, is the You Pick It produce open? Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes.
they're up and functioning.
They're up and running.
They were just taking orders at the car, and I think now they're letting people go in and pick again.
The question is asked, could I put just cold frames over my raised beds and make and turn them into mini hoop houses or whatever? Yes, you can do that and grow through the winter. You can do anything like that, as long as you pick the right plants to grow during the winter months.
I did announce the GreenStalk winner over on Crazy Days today, and I have heard from her. She contacted me, and I am sending it to her. Her husband, the winner, and I can't remember the name right off, but the winner, her husband is in a wheelchair, and she wanted a GreenStalk to sit outside the door so he can help garden somewhat.
Deborah says, can you plant the sweet potatoes and Irish potatoes in the same pot? I don't think I would do that because I don't think there's enough nutrition in a pot to handle both of them. Because, first of all, they both need room to expand. And I just don't know, unless you got an awful huge pot, if that would be advisable.
All right, Johns and cows, is it a worry for you? Heard it is prevalent in our beef and dairy industry.
Johnny's. That's called Yanni. I call it Yanni's disease.
Yeah.
It's actually, that's been around for, gosh, probably close to 15 years. It's really big in the dairy industry. As a matter of fact, if all dairy cows were tested, they would have to shut down most all dairies in the U.S. because most every dairy in the United States has it. This Johnny's disease is probably one of the leading causes for Crohn's disease, leaky gut syndrome, stuff like this. It's a really big problem. They sweep it under the rug, and they don't talk about it because they know if they do, they'll end up having to close every dairy in the United States down because almost every dairy is infected with it.
I don't know if I showed a picture on the greenhouse. Let me see. That's not it. That's the backside.
That's the backside.
All right, this is where the rattlesnake beans. Somebody asked what we were planting, where the rattlesnake beans are. That's the inside of
That's the inside of it now since we took the rattlesnake beans out.
So Danny had to take them out anyway because we needed to work in there.
Yeah.
We just wanted to harvest as many as we could, and when the bugs started hitting, it was time to go, and he's been hauling dirt in, and so you can see the floors leveled out more, and we're fixing to build the raised beds on each side and get it ready to use. Actually.
Yeah, we probably had to add 1.5 feet of dirt inside the greenhouse to get it level because the hillside was so steep.
Yeah. And so raised beds is another way if you're older and you can't go out into a garden, raised beds. And you can raise the beds up.
You can raise them up. We don't recommend going over 16 inches because they dry out too fast unless you have soaker hoses, drip irrigation, something of that nature, and I recommend putting them on a timer because if you don't, it really makes it difficult.
Did I get the sweet potatoes or did I forget them?
You forgot them. I didn't see them in there anywhere.
Okay, I forgot the sweet potatoes. I had a picture of the sweet potato field. It is turning out beautiful.
Yeah,
They're
our sweet
taking
potato.
over everywhere. And so this is a really good year, we hope, for sweet potatoes. At least the vines are pretty. We won't know till we dig.
How many high tunnels we plan on having on our property? We have 7 large greenhouses in total on their farm, they said.
2 right now.
2 right now.
Possibly a third one.
We may do a third one, but it just depends.
Danny's had this third one idea for the cabin. Since we have the off-grid cabin,
yeah,
it's a mini homestead on our homestead. So we're going to do a small version over there so that the cabin has its own greenhouse. It'll be smaller, but that's down the road. We just Right now we're gonna put a pond in.
We got a pond to put in right now and a greenhouse to build, and we're gonna work on that for right now.
And a cabin to finish, but we're gonna work on the cabin in the fall. Oh, let me show this right quick.
Country Homestead Preacher said they got 72 ears out of the garden yesterday. Wow, that's a good harvest.
Dustin sent this, and Dustin couldn't know that I was fixing to just order some kitchen dish towels for the cabin because I've got 2 or 3 types, and this was one of them I needed, and Dustin sent these, so I think that's great. It's got the orange and yellow. It'd be great to have over there because some of them aren't the best drying towels in the world, are they?
Right. Someone asked the question, do you think USDA organic truly is okay and is really okay and good for us? All I can say is they're supposed to be okay. I have called, and let me tell you, I have called on some things that said they were organic and had the USDA stamp on them. And I've asked them, was it harvested organically? And I could not get a straight answer because most fields are sprayed with Roundup and harvested. I'm hoping that they did not do that, but many times, even though something's grown organically, it is harvested with Roundup because Roundup kills everything at one time, and then they go in and they harvest the plant because they're all ready at the same time.
M. Callahan, yes, we sell the Cherokee Tan. They should be some up, but if not, I put more up. As fast as I put some up, they go away. I just don't usually put huge amounts up at one time because it takes a while for me to sit and count them, or Danny to sit and count them.
I usually sit and count them. I'm the one who usually does that.
When Wanda has to count, Wanda don't count.
Wanda
you
don't
may
count.
get 50 in a bag.
She just throws seeds in a bag. I told her, I says, no, these people pay for a certain amount of seeds. I'm going to give them that amount plus a few extras.
So if you get like 25 seeds in a bag, you know Wanda counted them. Not really. If you get 12 to 15 seeds in a bag, Danny counted them.
Lamar Burke says, do you plant your potatoes from seeds? I'm thinking about it. No, do not do it. When potatoes are grown from seeds, it takes up to 4 or 5 years to actually grow a potato from a plant like that. That's how these companies mutate potatoes, is they grow them from seeds, and they just, it ain't worth it.
Yeah, seed potatoes.
What do I do for a tomato plant that the leaves are curling in and it just stopped growing? One or two things. Well, two or three things. It could be a lack of water. It could be high wind, or it could be a herbicide like Grazon, Remedy, 2,4-D. Any of that could be in your soil causing that to happen.
Do we sell salsa? No, we don't. Most of our produce that we can is for our own use. I hardly ever sell anything. Sugar cane syrup in the fall, we sell a small portion of it. We don't sell very many. It's limited to first come, first serve usually. What else? We've sold a little bit of jams and jellies over the years, but this year I have not made jams and jellies because everything's in the freezer. We have so much, it'll be later down the road.
Let's see. A lot of questions went by, guys. I didn't get them. If I didn't get your question, you just have to repost it because I'm trying to get as many as I can. The one thing that we're thinking about in our older age is the reasoning for these greenhouses is just that. is the simple fact we have raised beds in them that's at a height that we can work comfortably from. We have our fruit trees are going to be in the greenhouses. We won't have to worry about going outside. We can control the environment. There's one of them. It says, Wanda, will you please print a canning cookbook?
I've had a lot of people ask that. I recommend you get the Ball Blue books, the older Ball Blue books. You can get them online. I can't put together that much information without just copying theirs. So it would be easier for you just to buy a Ball Blue book, the older version. Now, a lot of these new books I don't recommend. They got so much frou-frou in them. I've heard a lot of people say there's so much other junk in there. It's hard to find the simple canning recipes in the newer books.
The question's asked, Danny, where do you get your sugar cane from? I don't get my sugar cane from anywhere. I've had my same sugar cane now for, gosh, probably close to 20 years. Or I got it from an older gentleman probably 20 years ago, and I've kept the same sugar cane ever since. I've never bought sugar cane. What's our least favorite vegetable to harvest? Our least favorite to harvest. Probably butter beans.
Probably. That's probably the hardest to pick. If you're going to harvest butter beans and butter peas and peas, peas are easier. Butter beans is harder. Rattlesnake beans are not the easiest thing in the world because they're on a trellis, but they can hide from you.
Baker Mom asked a question. I'm going to deal with this winter. It says, if your fruit trees are in the greenhouse, how will you get the chill hours you need? I'm going to show y'all this fall how to make that happen.
And see if we're going to be able to do what we need to do.
Grandma Rose is asking the same thing. How am I going to make my greenhouse peach trees get the chill hours they need? This fall, I will show y'all how to do that.
And we will be taking the shade cloth off, right?
Yeah.
That'll be part of it for the winter. He's got several things.
What size greenhouse do you recommend for a single person? Probably what we have. That's why we have two of them, because there's two of us. Would be a 16 by 36. I think that's a really good size for one person.
Yeah.
Would sugarcane grow in zone 7? Yes, it will grow in zone 7.
And another thing, as an older person, they make all these benches and seats and stuff. If you can't stand for long periods of time or bend over or whatever, these little garden chairs, garden seats, garden benches, whatever they call them, we have two of them. And Danny and I use those when we're picking things that we're going to be sitting, like beans and stuff. When you're going to be sitting there for a few minutes, picking on one or two vines, you pick from 2 or 3, whatever. And then you can stand up, move your chair, and go again. They're going to come in handy in the greenhouse if we have beans and stuff, more than just a few plants in the greenhouse. So that type stuff, the little wagons they make to pull around and put your produce in and stuff like that, instead of having to tote buckets.
Sheila asked a question on my thoughts on someone going into business that had butchering experience. I think if you can get the USDA to back you, because you got to have it, and you can get the right permits from your county, I think we should have more people go into the running slaughterhouses where they do butchering and stuff, because it would take some of the burden off of the slaughterhouses that are already out there, because they're backed up right now, and you would have plenty of business if you wanted to open one.
Somebody was asking about your Bible channel. They were saying a lot of them need it right now.
I basically do. I add the Lord's Word in with a lot of my videos now, because I realized I was getting better response by doing that. And it just seems to work out a whole lot better if I can tie it in with everyday life, and growing and doing things like that. It seems to work better.
Yeah. Right now, the time, we have a limited time right
Very
now. Very limited
time.
Even my channel, Crazy Days, had to go by the wayside for the last few months. I put out a video when I can, and I'm so backed up with what I need to be putting out, but it just doesn't happen because the Canon the greenhouse, and now the pond. Hopefully within a week or so we'll be working. We won't be.
Yeah.
Well, he will be, but I won't. I'm going to be videoing, but we're hoping to do a pond. So things just kind of, too many channels, you can't keep up and do a good job.
Yeah. Saltine Cracker says you have to have a strong stomach to slaughter all the time. It isn't about having a strong stomach. It's literally, you have to realize those animals are put here to be for our use, and you just get used to it. It's just like anything else, in any other job in the world, you just get used to doing it.
Somebody's asked him, where do you get ball canning jars? Everybody's out. We have a local store here in town called Alexander's Hardware, and so far they have been able to get canning jars, and they bought a couple of pallets a couple of months ago, and we got some extra there. And then we were in there the other day, and they got in another pallet or so, and we got a few of those. So that is where we get ours. They are still being able to order it. They did back order this time, though. It took them a couple of extra weeks, but they got it.
It says your pumpkin seeds are not in the Etsy shop. Do you have another store? No, we'll put some more on there. They just sell out as fast as we put them on there. We'll keep them on there. Just keep going back.
I'll try to put some up after we get through sometime tonight.
Alan says, are you using your smoker? Not at the moment, because it's just we got too much going on, and we have so much stuff smoked and stored until there's no need to smoke anything else right now.
Smoky cheese is on the list.
That would be our next thing to do.
I have to tell this on Danny. I have to tell him.
There's no telling what she's going to say because I don't have a clue.
We have been eating smoked cheese for a while after we did the smoked cheese. Every 2 or 3 days we'd slice off a piece and eat it with our lunch. And Danny likes the organic white cheese.
Yeah.
It has no color.
It has no coloring in it. It's white cheddar cheese. Yeah.
And so we smoked some of that, and he was eating it, and he didn't realize he was out. And so I sliced a piece of just regular organic cheese, put it on his plate, and he bit into it, and he says, "What is wrong with this cheese?" He goes, he almost spit it out because
I was like, something's wrong with this cheese.
Something's wrong with this cheese. And I said, "What do you mean? I just opened the pack. I just sliced a piece off." And he says, "Oh, never mind." He said, "I'm so used to that smoked cheese that the regular cheese didn't taste good." We're spoilt now.
Yeah, we are. We're kind of spoiled to the smoked cheese.
It was really good.
Larson says they just got 3 dozen jars at a rummage sale for $9. And guys, look, that's where you'll find a lot of them. The younger generation, when these older people are dying out, they just find them and they're like, they just put them up at the garage sale, and people, they have no clue about the value of these jars.
Smoked sweet potatoes. Oh, I bet that would be so
smoked
good.
Sweet potatoes is fantastic.
He's done it before.
I've done it. I have. I've had it.
Yeah.
What's the difference between gold lids and silver lids for canning? Gold lids will probably rust within the first year.
If you don't have humidity, I wouldn't worry about it. But we have humidity.
We have a lot of humidity.
Yeah. What's wrong with your audio?
I don't know, because I can't hear my audio. I don't know. I didn't know there was anything wrong with it.
Probably a combination of everything.
Probably Sahara dust.
Y'all, we need all new everything, I think. I've been telling Danny, I think we need all new everything. We need a new provider for our internet, but we can't find one. So we're just kind of stuck with what we have.
Okay, says the greenhouse dimensions were cut off by the buffering. It's 16 by 36.
Yeah.
16 by 36.
Look, I'm going to write it on a piece of paper and hold it up.
Oh, we had some other...
have we done anything with aquaponics?
No, we don't do aquaponics.
Now,
we don't.
He's kind of sort of doing it in the greenhouse with okra.
Not aquaponics, I'm not. Oh, well, yeah, I guess I am. I'm experimenting with it a little bit.
Yeah. He didn't intend to.
I didn't intend to.
It just kind of, that's the way it is, and so.
Anyway, this right here, this is our cow, Dixie. She's the next one in line to have a calf, and we noticed that her bag is starting to bag up. So,
and she's social distancing.
and she is, yes, she started social distancing a little bit. You always see her off on the edge of the field, laying down by herself, and so she's practicing her social distancing, which is what cows do when they get ready to have a calf. They start pulling themselves away from the crowd, and we have no idea when she's going to have the calf because we don't know if she was bred when we got her. We don't know if our cow bred her. I mean, our bull bred her. We don't have any idea. So we're just patiently waiting for her to have a calf.
How many fruit trees should one plant if you only have 2 acres of land? That's according to what all's on your
All
plan.
you can squeeze into it and still have room to grow your food.
Yeah. We've probably
got close to 50 or better.
Oh no, we've probably got 100 fruit trees now.
I'm talking about this year. We got like 50 new ones this year.
Yeah, about 50 new ones because
so we've probably got close to 100 altogether.
We've got fruit trees stuck everywhere, and that's another reason that growing older, we want to be able to walk outside every day of the year and get something fresh to eat, so that if we can't can or we're not able to can, there's something fresh somewhere. And with this many fruit trees and berries and veggies and stuff, there's always going to be something here we can eat. It might not be what we want, it's what we have.
Somebody asked, how many cows do we have? We have 6 right now, and 2 of them are expecting to have little ones. But speaking of little ones, look at this one here. Now, this is our latest calf. This is Minnie.
She's adorable.
She is just as gentle and as adorable as she can be.
She wasn't until she licked Danny's arm.
She kind of bonded with me, and she started licking my arm, and ever since then, she's just really close to me.
Mark is asking, could you use some help for a few days? I could pick your brain. I'm considering homesteading, but I don't know how much about growing.
We don't. We've closed our gates, Mark, to people actually coming here and doing anything anymore.
Because of COVID,
yeah.
Because we're so busy right now, it's just hard for us to take time to do much. I mean,
I'm just leaving this. Everybody loves the calf. I'm just leaving it.
Minnie's adorable.
Minnie is just.
Candy is too, but Candy almost as big as her mama.
Candy's as big as her mama now.
She grew fast. Candy grew really fast. Minnie's staying a baby longer.
Minnie has 100% Dexter. Candy has some Jersey in her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just sits and licks my arm constantly. Just constantly licks and licks and licks, and she's just as gentle. I'm feeding her a corn stalk right there, and she literally loves it.
Yeah. She's going to be a good baby girl.
Saltine Cracker says her neighbor calls their cow Hamburger. I had a calf I named Hamburger one time. I knew I was going to be butchering it, so I just went ahead and named it Hamburger.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Our wild blackberries in Kentucky are fixing to turn from red to purple soon. Wow, our blackberries been gone for a long time. Our wild
ones. We're picking the tame ones now. I've been picking the tame ones. And then we have some in the greenhouse that are huge, but they haven't turned yet. So we are growing blackberries in the greenhouse.
Yeah. And the greenhouse, that's one thing about the high tonal greenhouse. You never know when something's going to get ready.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got trees that are still putting on fruit. We have berries that are just starting to bloom. Our blackberries are just now blooming.
Steve has asked about kumquats. We don't have any kumquats, do we?
Well, kumquats is just like growing lemons or oranges or anything else. They're all citrus trees. You just have to make sure that the minerals are right in the soil and they are in a place that they stay warm.
Can tame blackberries be propagated for new growth?
Yes. Matter of fact, I planted, 3 new ones today off of roots that came up off of ours.
Yeah. And somebody said something about kids. Let me just show you.
You got it?
I know. All right, these are my grandkids. They were here yesterday.
Yeah.
I had a blast playing around with them, and they went over to the cabin. What all we do? The oldest one had to peel potatoes and stuff. They played on the sidewalk and did sidewalk chalk and stuff. Had a good time with them.
Nelson says, why don't we get into dairy? I used to have dairy goats and I milk dairy goats. I'm not interested in milking anything anymore. That's a 7-day-a-week job, 2 times a day. No.
We had goats, and it was just not beneficial for us. On our homestead, goats was not something. They were fun, they're cute, but they can be trouble, and we found that out. So we decided goats had to go. We sold all of them to a lady that had a whole bunch of boys that wanted to play, and they wanted to play. The cows don't want to play. They just do their thing.
Yeah.
They're easier. They're small. We don't have to worry about it because we got Dexters.
Mandy asked, do y'all have mullein on the homestead to use medicinally? Yes.
Yes. The baby is 7 months old. 7 or 8 months old.
Yeah,
I
it's either
forgot.
7 or 8 months. Yeah, that's about right. But guys, basically tonight has been about what we wanted to talk about. Really was, you know, as you get older, take time to think about your old age and how will you grow things and how will you harvest things in your old age. Ouija says, can you buy raw milk in your state? Yes. Yes, you can.
We have a guy down the road from us that has a whole bunch of goats. Actually, one of our goats
One
came
of our
from
goats
him.
came from him.
And he sells raw goat's milk. And then we have a guy in town that does that. That's where our other 2 goats came from.
Yeah.
And then they had babies, and we had 2 babies, and then we got rid of all of them at one time.
Carolyn says, do y'all milk and do butter and cheese? We haven't been milking anything because we ended up with the grass on in the hay, so we quit. We don't want any kind of milk right now. We got to make sure that all the animals are cleaned out good, and we probably are not going to be doing any milking anytime soon. We have too much else going on. Do you sell mullein seeds? No, not right now. We don't.
I don't know if I don't know of anybody that has mullein seeds right now. Do we harvest any
deer on the property? We do if a deer sticks his head out, he gets harvested.
Gail says she got her GreenStalk today, and it's much larger than she thought it would be. Yes, the GreenStalk is a lot bigger than most of them. The Mr. Stacky's is about half the size of the GreenStalk. Plus, I think the Mr. Stacky has to have a pump and all this stuff, where the GreenStalk is self-watering. You water the top, and it waters all the way down. It's a special setup, and it is made in the USA. So it is a good product.
Not sure. Christy said, I'm not sure I can milk with arthritic hands. It is tough. I ain't gonna lie to you. What do you guys do for leaf miners? We don't really have a lot of trouble with leaf miners. We have a few that gets on our citrus trees outside, but other than that, we don't have a lot of problems. Nelson says, do you recommend woven weed fabric for weed control? Yes.
That's another biggie.
That is another biggie for us. Ground cover, woven ground cover is definitely a yes.
The older you get, trying to keep weeds out of a garden and out of things. That's why we're putting it in the greenhouse and everywhere around the greenhouse. If you notice, it's on the sides. The more weeds we can control with that, the less we have to do. So yes, as you age, you might think about ground cover.
Kelly's asking, have we put up any dehydrated water this year?
No.
We have not put up any dehydrated water. We have failed to prepare in that area, I will admit.
We put a lot of stuff up, and guys, we went to the grocery store. Did you talk about this on Patreon? I think.
I don't remember.
And I don't think we've talked about it.
Yes, Gail, you can put the stuff from Hall's Tool in your GreenStalk.
Yeah. We went to the grocery store, or I did. He sat in the truck, didn't go in with me, I don't think. I told him the shelves were not as full as they should be. They're about half empty. Lots of the stuff was pulled to the front. some of the meat containers were totally empty. And that's the most I've seen. Even at the height of COVID, this store has not been that low in meat and that low in stuff. And the prices, y'all, I haven't been in a store buying a whole lot in 3 or 4 months, but the prices are slowly going up. Every time you turn around, they're going up. So just be paying attention, be prepping, because some states, Texas maybe,
Texas is having a huge run on COVID cases, and they're actually beginning to consider shutting back down again. I have Ron slipping in here. I knew Ron was in the background.
Yeah, so guys, we want you guys to prep, to have something prepped up, because if they start this stuff again and they start shutting states down, don't be caught unaware. Make sure you have what you need. If you can grow something, please be growing it. At least that gives you a start up on stuff. Don't get lax and don't say, oh well, everything's back to normal, because it's not. Even though there may not be many cases where you're at, that doesn't seem to matter anymore, does it?
Doesn't matter.
If they want to shut it down, they'll shut it down.
Anyway, guys, we're way past our time. Thank y'all for all being here. Those of you who didn't get to see in the beginning, I want to show you the Danny corn right here. A lot of people have asked about it. It's in relation to my arm. My arm is long. Get it right here. This corn is probably 14 inches long. It's huge. Probably weighs, I mean, my hand won't even reach around it. Probably weighs 2 pounds. It's a big ear of corn. Danny corn makes some huge, nice corn.
Yeah, somebody said they're under voluntary stay-at-home. But she's saying she thinks it'll be mandatory, and she's in Texas. And they were saying ground beef, the prices were going up.
Texas and Florida are having, well, actually we have like 21 states now, I think, that are having huge COVID crisis. They didn't think it was going to happen until fall, but it's actually happening quicker than they thought. So, guys,
or at least that's what they're saying. It's got to where you don't know who to trust anymore when it comes to this stuff. I mean, just like our state, doing what they want to do. You know.
We don't have any freedom anymore. It was all taken away.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got to get off of here, guys. Question was asked during the live stream about Eric. Ms. Wanda knows more than I do.
Life in farmland.
Yeah.
He is at home. He's taken dialysis at home. They trained him how to do it himself at home. He has been approved, I believe, for the organ recipient, so he can get a kidney. He just has to have a match. And so they're starting the process to try and find a match. And then you want to talk about Boss of the Swamp.
Yes, JC from Boss of the Swamp. He's back home now. Ms. Lori's taking care of him. JC come out. He went through his surgery really well. I mean, it all done good. He come home. Everything was going really well. And after being home for a few days, he ended up having a bunch of blood clots in his lungs and his leg and his heart. And he ended up having to have an ambulance rush him back to the hospital. They got him on a lot of blood thinners now. He did have some lung damage. He's had some heart damage because of it. Only time's going to tell. He's on the mend. He's trying to heal as best as he can, but he did have some damage to his heart and to his lungs. So we're praying that we don't have a blood clot go to him somewhere in his body and he have a heart attack or something like that, or a brain, anything go to his brain.
So keep praying for him.
Keep praying for him. We want to pray for Andy.
Andy's Tennessee life, or Andy's backyard.
Yeah, Andy's backyard. That's the way I remember is Andy's backyard. Andy had his spleen removed. He's dealing with a little bit of pancreatitis. I think he may be getting out of the.
He is in ICU for the next day or two.
For the next
He's
couple of
been
days.
pretty bad for a couple of days, but now he's still in ICU.
He's off the ventilator. I mean, he's doing good, as good as he can under the circumstances. But we want to keep Andy in our prayers.
Somebody saying dialysis at home doesn't sound right.
They do it because of COVID.
Yeah, they had to train him, and he has everything set up at his house on how to do what he needs to do to keep himself going. He and his wife both understand the process.
Yeah.
They are changing a lot of stuff in a lot of states.
A lot of things are being changed because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, guys, we have a lot of people with a lot of problems.
Else, and I don't remember.
I know it's probably people that, guys, this is why we keep telling people, don't buy food from a grocery store. All the food you get from a grocery store, there's not one thing in that grocery store that doesn't have Roundup in it.
You're getting something.
You're going to get it in anything you eat. If it's got corn or wheat in it, you're going to have Roundup in it. Glyphosate. Raise your own food and raise it as organically as you can, and don't use any chemicals on it. Guys, it's so much better for you. Can your own food. Save your own food. Dehydrate your own food. Freeze dry your own food. Do whatever you can, Just check out our playlist. I have videos on top of videos about preserving foods. Matter of fact, I'm fixing to put up one about saving cucumber seeds. We've got to do this. We just have to do it if we're going to survive. It's all there is to it.
Brenda said they did get Andy off the ventilator today.
Yeah, I thought he came off the ventilator. I thought so. Smitty is still in the hospital 10 days now, Mary Beth says. I want to keep him in the prayers.
Miss Charlotte from Rub-a-Dub Homestead, her husband, I think it's her husband, is back in the hospital for the third time in a week. So I'm going to keep him in prayers. I knew there was somebody else.
Guys, the state of our country, Mississippi today proved we're under socialism. Our government usurped authority over everybody. Our governor and our lieutenant governor, which are, in my book now, are pieces of crap. They literally usurped authority over us today, and they just made a law. And they've done what they...
It isn't totally finished
yet.
It's
not finished yet, but it might as well be because...
Might as well be because they done went that far.
They done gone that far, and they ain't planning on stopping. So,
yeah.
Socialism in Mississippi is a way of life now.
You moved to Tennessee?
I don't know. Anyway, Gemini says Andy ate a popsicle today, so he's doing a lot better if he can eat a popsicle. Okay, guys, we got to pray. We got to get off of here. Me and Miss Wanda still got a lot of stuff to do. We got to put up some stuff here. We got stuff everywhere. Father, we thank you for being good to us. We thank you for loving us. Lord, you always show your eminent mercy and grace towards us, and we are so appreciative of that. You've given us more than we deserve this year, Father. But when we have these kind of years where we have so much food laid in our laps, Lord, it makes us wonder, are the lean days ahead? And Father, are you taking care of your children while there's time to have plenty? To whom much is given, much is required. Your scripture says that. And Father, we try to heed to that. Lord, we have so many people tonight that are our friends, that are YouTube friends, and people here on YouTube that are our friends. Lord, people in the chat that are our friends, people we don't even know, but we love them all. Father, all that need healing power from you. So many are in the hospital tonight. So many are facing physical issues in their life. Father, they're just, they need your hand of healing upon their life during this time of uncertainty in our nation. We pray for those that are still in the hospital, Lord. With COVID running rampant, pneumonia and COVID could set in on them at any moment, Father. And we're praying for a hedge of protection to be put about them from any of these viruses from being able to touch their bodies. Lord, I pray for my state of Mississippi. I pray for the socialistic system that we're under now, where our leaders take it upon themselves to usurp authority over their own people, even though they wanted to go in a totally different direction, and they just did it anyway. Father, give us new leaders, ones that will heed to the people now and listen to you, Father. And Father, we want to thank you for just being good to everyone here in the chat tonight. Thank you for everybody showing up for the chat tonight. I pray for each and every one of them. There are those that are looking for homesteads. I pray that you give them the homestead that they're looking for, Father. There are those that need financial blessings. There are lots of them that need greenhouses and high tunnels and hoop houses and places and ways to grow their food, Lord. Many have had contaminated beds because of this ungodly herbicide, Grazon, and Remedy and 2,4-D and all these chemicals that are put into our food, Roundup, the glyphosates that's put in stuff. Father, we pray that you'll cause us to be able to find a way to get beyond these things and to beat these evil people at their own games now. Lord, help us to all have a good rest tonight. Help us to be able to rise tomorrow, to be able to do the things that we need to do. We ask these things in thy name. Amen.
One thing we forgot.
What did we forget?
Containers.
No, I mentioned containers.
Did you mention containers?
Yeah.
Growing in containers.
Yeah.
Outside or in the greenhouse.
I mentioned them in the greenhouse,
but yeah, you can grow outside around your house. If you're in an area
containers, grow bags.
Yeah, that people don't let you grow all over the place. You can set your containers up, whatever type containers you can find, and grow in them, and grow something.
Yeah, you can do your GreenStalks if you live in a place where they don't allow. You just got a small balcony. You can put a GreenStalk on it. Yeah. You know, you can get the grow bags, 5-gallon buckets. You can do all these things to grow your food.
Oh, there's Grow Family Network. Y'all, I wanted to mention the okra. I took a picture of it and I forgot to bring it and put it on here. Our okra is up about, 6 inches, maybe?
Probably about 5 to 6 inches, yeah.
And maybe. The same day we showed it in the greenhouse, they showed on Grow Family Network, he showed theirs, and it's huge already.
Oh, yeah.
And he's already picking okra off his, and it's a bush okra. And if y'all want it, y'all have to contact Grow Family Network and see if he has any more. But the seeds, it grows like a bush, and it just puts on branches,
lots of branches,
and doesn't get real tall compared to. He said, like, if you have 10 and 12-foot okra, you're trying to pull it over and get it, it doesn't get that tall. It branches. So we're really anxious to see how this does here. And plus, they have a pretty good channel. We like them. We like to watch them.
I love the Grow Family Network. I watch almost every one of their videos now.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Kind of hooked us on his videos pretty quick.
We've got to get off of here. Thank y'all for being so good tonight and being in here. I think we had one troll during the prayer, and I think that was dealt with. But I just appreciate each and every one of you. I want to let y'all know that. We pray for y'all continually. Pray that y'all pray for us continually so that we can continue to move in forward with our life here. And guys, we do YouTube because we want to try to be able to be a blessing to others and to help everybody else. Just
and to show you what works and doesn't work.
Yeah, if we have a failure, we show you we have a failure. But if it's working, we show you why it's working, and we will show you how it's working and what you can do to have the same results. And thank you guys for the ones that's buying cookbooks. I never imagined I would sell that many that fast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes. I will try to get some Cherokee tan seeds up also. Yeah, as soon as we get off here, we'll try to get some Cherokee tans. And Danny has a sweet potato manual and an English pea. Yeah. For anybody that wants to know how to grow both. He intended to write more books, but just time hasn't allowed. Time hasn't allowed. We don't have enough for everything right now. Yeah. But we do have English pea, how to grow English peas, and how to grow sweet potatoes. Yes. They're both on our Etsy store. You can purchase them there. Unless they're sold out, and if they are, I will reorder and have them on again. Okay. Guys, we got to get out of here.
Thank you, guys.
Y'all have a blessed night, and we will see y'all in the next video.